Ladies and gentlemen, we got some news today that involves the WWE again, and it is not in a good light. And it falls again on Vince McMahon as well and Mel Phillips. This is, of course, a lawsuit, but it is serious because obviously all these big names and companies are attached to it. So we definitely have to go on ahead and talk about it, see where, we stand. Kenny, come on, my boy. You heard about that Ring Boy scandal. Your boy Vince McMahon is back underwater again. Not that he wasn't, but now he's like 80 feet under. Again, this is all allegedly, but
80 feet.
Kenny, let's
Man,
talk about it,
listen,
man.
they are trying to bury him 80 feet under. Vince McMahon is the gift that keeps on giving, right? Now, after this documentary, people are suing him for the Ring Boy scandal. Now, this is something I didn't even hear about until the documentary came out. Big Owen was
Mhm.
talking about it, and I was like, what are you talking about? A Ring Boy scandal? I thought it was just all like news and rumors. But
Yeah.
when they actually threw it in that documentary, I was surprised to hear exactly what happened. But what actually happened didn't really have anything to do with Vince McMahon. It was the people around him harassing these young boys. And I think the problem is he covered up for it, kind of. He was
Yeah.
like, well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I can't really say nothing about it. And I think he fired Pat Patterson and then brought him back. Man, listen, as I said, it just seems like Vince is the gift that keeps on giving, because apparently not only is he being sued for this, WWE is being sued as well, right?
Yep, WWE is being sued. I mean, I'm sure TKO knew what they were doing when, uh when they bought the company, because I know that it probably went through their minds that it could possibly happen. But I do want to go on ahead and just because there is two different Mel Phillips, so we don't want to get that confused. But this guy's name is Melvin Mel Phillips Jr. So he goes by Mel Phillips, but his full name, because then there's another Mel Phillips that's a football player, and we don't want to get too confused. So
I was
that's
thinking
why I
Mel
wanted to
B. I
put
think
that
that's
out
a
there.
Spice Girl, though.
Yeah, no, definitely
That's
not that.
before your time. You don't know about the Spice Girls.
Yeah, and it's definitely not that, buddy.
There were some bad ones.
Yeah,
But
but this guy
Mel,
was actually a ring announcer.
you got a picture of him?
Mm,
Oh,
I
didn't
don't.
they say the ring announcer had something to do with it? Oh, I thought you was talking about one of the victims.
No, this is not the victim. Melvin Mel Phillips Jr. is. It looks like he's the one part of the lawsuit.
Wait a minute. So he's actually suing WWE?
No, no, he's
He's being
he's a
sued.
defendant.
And you know he don't got no bread, so he about to get cooked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But oh man, this is insane. Again, I'm telling you, man, with all of these lawsuits they're hitting Vince McMahon with, they're gonna bury this man on their own. I
Oh
mean,
no,
does he
it's
deserve it?
wrapped.
If he's done these things people saying he's doing, then I think so. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think that documentary kind of struck some things up in people, and people are coming to get their money, man. People want to get paid. So
Fair.
they saw that documentary, they said, you know what, we are at the center of conversation. This documentary tell people this did happen to us. So now it's time for us to get paid. So you know what they say, father time catches up with everybody. So I mean, I guess this is just all event stuff that he did early in his life, kind of biting him. I hate to say, but towards the ends of it, we're all human, we're all mortal, so it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I also want to point out that it looks like Linda McMahon was also part of this lawsuit, and again TKO and Vince McMahon. So this is just, yeah, they're going for heads with this lawsuit. I mean, I don't think we've seen Linda attached to anything to
I don't
WWE
think
in terms
so.
of lawsuits, so this might be a first. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I mean, we've heard the things that were. Allegedly, we saw that video of Roddy Piper before he passed away, where he wanted to speak, but he couldn't really speak, so he just cried throughout the interview, and then he apologized after. I'm pretty sure he said something about Pat Patterson, but again, I don't know how deep it went. So this is something that has been going for a long time, and it was talked about, like you said, in the Netflix documentary. So that's something else that is worth bringing up. Now we are witnessing live the demise of Vince McMahon. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to get any better, and it's just going to get worse. His health is apparently declining, and this can't be any better for the guy. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't. If it, like you said, if he didn't do these things, you know, let the guy live. But if he did do these things, bro, it's not looking good for him.
Oh man, you talk about the decline in health, and man, listen, they are killing this man's legacy. I'll just say it. Think about what wrestling would be if we did not have Vince McMahon. I don't think wrestling would be as big as it is today. I don't know if we would still have territories or whatever, but I mean, we see WCW, that was a big successful wrestling company, but what did they do? They copied Vince McMahon's model. I think this man alone is the reason wrestling is as big as it is today. And it's sad because he's a old man now, and one can only
So
guess he's going to pass away pretty soon, and his legacy is just in the mud right now, just like the company he built.
so he's not gonna be okay, brother. He's not gonna be remembered, unfortunately, for what he did for wrestling. He's gonna be remembered for what he's being accused of. And that's just what it is. But I think the stuff that we've been hearing is just too big to ignore, if that makes sense. Like it's just like, bro, like what is going on? And again, yes, the company got big and everything like that, but was it at the expense of others being
Oh, it
affected,
was
becoming
definitely,
victims? You know what I mean?
definitely.
Because think about it, bro. If what if he did come out with all these things? And I'm not justifying him not doing this. I'm just saying from like just his perspective. Like, what if he did come out with all these things back then? Like, oh, these guys are doing this, these guys are doing steroids, these guys are being pedophiles, whatever the case is, and it's all happening in wrestling. Do you understand like just the bad publicity that would give wrestling? Maybe wrestling wouldn't be as big if this came out. And again, it does not justify anything, and I'm not trying to justify anything, but like again though, you maybe that's what was going through his mind. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to like put two and two together. Like if all
Well,
these bad things just come out of the wrestling, atmosphere, what are people gonna think?
I mean, people from the outside looking in, they already look at wrestling like a freak show. Like if you tell somebody, like I tell people at my job, like, yeah, I cover wrestling and stuff. They say wrestling with the WWE stuff. Like, yes, that's what we cover over here. Like
Yeah.
people like they look down on wrestling because for one, they think like, oh, that's fake stuff. Like, what are you doing? I used to watch that when I was a kid. So I mean, people already look down on wrestling. So the fact that these news stories and stuff are coming out, like the Vince McMahon documentary, I actually don't think was terrible and tearing down wrestling because a lot of people were intrigued and interested by it because it showed like Vince McMahon's business acumen and how strong of a businessman he was. But just here recently, the coach, he was on there. What was that? Phil Donahue thing Big Om sent us. But the coach was saying like how Vince McMahon didn't care about anybody but himself. So this was definitely like to the expense of others where he was building this company.
Right,
Like he gave one
100%.
example. He said, I was with my family on Christmas Eve, and Vince McMahon, like he didn't want to be working or something on Christmas. So he said, listen, coach, you come over here and film this segment and stuff. So y'all could be over here doing this while I'm home with my family. So he was all about getting what he wanted at the expense of others. So I mean, it is what it is, and I think he thought these NDAs would protect him from forever, but unfortunately, again, up and at the end, it's all coming to bite him.
I do agree with that. So yeah, man, let us know down below. How do you guys feel about this situation, man? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to kiss that ring. And we're going to catch you guys